Ritalin and cocaine do the same thing pharmacologically, chemically in the brain. They inhibit the uptake of dopamine. Now, Ritalin was prescribed to children with ADHD, and cocaine, well, we know cocaine is an illegal drug that people use to party and have fun and do whatever with, right? The point is, they do the same fucking thing. We're giving one to kids, and the other crackheads are smoking on the street in the form of crack cocaine. They're smoking it. You can inject cocaine, and you can sniff it. So why the fuck is the same drug, Ritalin, is just pharmacologically extremely similar to cocaine? Why are we giving that to kids? And yet you'd never imagine giving cocaine to a kid, right? Interesting. This has been talked about in the book The Cult of Pharmacology, which is the book that I'm reading right now. It's fantastic. And the point is, right, cocaine and Ritalin have very, very different effects. Literally. Not chemically, but because of the beliefs that people have when they go into it. Crack cocaine and normal cocaine have different effects. Crack cocaine is seen as this highly addictive thing that you can't stop using. The pleasure is insane. The buzz is insane. Yet it acts quicker, and it acts because you smoke it, and it can be more intense in terms of the dose. It's the same fucking drug. So the point is that non-drug factors affect our actual interpretation of the experience and therefore the net effect of the drug. Right? Imagine you get into a car, right, and it's fucking sleek on the inside, and the driver turns around to you and says, you know, this is the new Bentley. And you're like, fuck, the new Bentley. And now you're driving around in the new Bentley and you feel like $1 million, right? Now imagine you get out of the car and you look at the front of the fucking number plate and it says it's Dacia, right? That Romanian cheap car brand. You're going to feel like a dickhead, aren't you? The point is, did the metal on the fucking car cause you to feel like $1 million when you thought it was the Bentley? Or was it just the belief that you thought it was a Bentley? The belief, blatantly. So the idea is if this can happen with things like brands, say like car brands or clothes brands or just general anything, it can happen with drugs too. Just because drugs have a psychoactive component to it doesn't also mean that there's not a non-drug component to it, in the same way that there's a non-drug component with getting in the fancy car, right? So how does this relate to PMO? With PMO, we have the drug factor, the thing that you cannot control, the masturbation, right? You cannot control the sensation of masturbation. It doesn't matter how mindful you are, you're going to feel the buzz of masturbation physically. The same thing is true with alcohol. It doesn't matter if someone's mindful, if someone's beliefs change. If you feed them a shit ton of alcohol, they're going to feel drunk. If you give them heroin, the same story. If you give them cocaine, the same story. However, people respond to that physical buzz in very, very different ways, right? When one person starts masturbating, they might feel as though they are compelled to turn on the porn and get the porno up on the phone or on the computer, right? Now, does masturbation cause that? No. Physically, it doesn't cause that. That's interpretation. That's mental interpretation of the physical sensation. In the same way that kids who are taking Ritalin, they would just experience more focus and a bit more, heightened energy. They wouldn't feel that cocaine, like fucking, you're feeling like you're this like Pablo Escobar type figure. That's all mental shit, right? Similarly, if I was walking around in a suit, I'm going to feel a lot different than if I'm walking around in muddy tracky bottoms, right? That's not physical, is it? That's mental. You get my point. The utility in what I'm saying, right, is I'm getting to it, right? What I'm saying is I'm not on cocaine, by the way. I just have a really itchy nose. I promise you. The point is, right, with PMO, you have non-drug factors. For example, because with porn, it's just a video, right? There's no actual drug effect with porn. Anything to do with porn is completely mental. Because if you watch porn completely mindfully, and if you don't want to know what mindfully means, basically what that means is it's where you completely get rid of all thoughts from your mind. You don't force them out, but you just kind of focus on like a focal point. And then when you do that, your mind goes completely blank. And so the idea being, this is the test that I'm recommending to people now, is watch porn completely mindfully. And you will find that there is no physical effect. There is no arousal effect. If you're completely mindful, there won't be an effect, right? The idea being, what I'm trying to say is that there's no physical effect to porn. When you feel physically aroused by porn, that's you interpreting it that way. That's you doing it. And this is great news because it's you that's doing it. It's you that's actually interpreting it. It's you that's actually the key link in taking porn to sexual arousal and pleasure. Because you're that link, you're that bridge, you can sever that, right? You can bring down that bridge. If, on the other hand, you believe that the pleasure of porn is due to pornography, regardless of your mindset, it's going to be this incredible pleasure no matter what, this incredible mental pleasure. If you believe that, you've now created a perception of porn that is A, false, because we know that if you mindfully watch porn, you won't experience these effects, so they're not objective. And 2, you're going to highly desire it, because if there is anything in this world that we ascribe massive amounts of pleasure to, we will desire it. And it could be a non-drug. For example, the gym. If you are lifting weights, I lift weights, you probably lift weights too. You're probably in the gym, and when you feel the burn, right, it feels fucking good, because in your head you're knowing, I'm stimulating my muscle, I'm stimulating those motor units in my muscle fibers. After this gym, I'm going to eat some protein, and when I go to sleep, my body is going to build bigger and stronger, and I like that, right? So when you feel that burn, mentally, you're feeling the satisfaction at the same time, which is why you like it. Compare that to a 400-pound fat fuck who's in the gym, New Year's Day, right? Imagine that. New Year's Eve, he's like, I'm going to start the gym. New Year's Day comes around, he's at the gym, he's grinding it out, and it's just, every rep feels like pain, agony, right? Same gym, same burn, same physical burn, exact same physical burn, different interpretation, different emotion. Right? So, with porn, realize that there's no objective pleasure in it by doing the mindful masturbation experiment. And then you might be like, well, if there's pleasure in porn, if I believe there is, if I have this placebo effect going on, then why wouldn't I choose that? Why wouldn't I choose free pleasure? If you gave me an offer, pleasure or zero pleasure, why wouldn't I take the pleasure one? Because it's not cost-free. Now, don't frame it as cost, frame it as benefits of abstinence, meaning, instead of thinking, oh, I don't want to do I'm not going to indulge in porn in this anti-placebo, in this active placebo effect because of the costs of porn. Think about it like, there's no objective pleasure in porn. If I don't believe if I don't want to indulge in the subjective pleasure in porn, then from my perspective, there is no pleasure in porn. Therefore, the benefits of porn are now open to me, right? So, going back to our offer previously, if someone comes to you saying pleasure, but you can't have access to the reality that is non-porn, which has all these benefits, or no pleasure, and you can have access to these benefits of non-porn, well, now it's a different story. Now you might want to choose the second option, right? With, okay, I'm going to view porn as not pleasurable. I'm going to take the subjective route of, I'm going to fail to see the active placebo in porn. I'm going to realize that I could have active placebo in anything, i.e. the gym, i.e. walking in nature. When I was a kid, I hated walking in nature. My mum would drag me on like a nature walk and I fucking hate it. Now I do it on my own and I love it. Change in mind, okay? It's natural, right? And when you were younger, you watch cartoons. You don't watch cartoons anymore. And do I feel deprived at the fact that when I watch Tom and Jerry now, it doesn't hit the same? No, because I've moved on to other cool things. There was nothing unique in Tom and Jerry. There's nothing unique in porn. Do you see what I'm getting at? It's the same effect going on. And this is, as I said, this is great news. There's no objective pleasure in porn. Because when you watch it mindfully, fuck all happens. That's fact, right? All that you have is the masturbation, which is the physical buzz of that. And even that you can view as to be not mentally pleasurable. The key is separating the physical pleasure from the mental pleasure. If you believe in physical pleasure, right, and you believe that that jumps to mental pleasure, and therefore you should be motivated towards it, you've got a problem there as well, okay? This is a lot to take in, and I'm spieling quite a lot, but I haven't made a video in a bit of time, so I'm just trying to get it all out. I'm going to segment and talk about this a lot more. The point is, you don't have to see pleasure in porn. in the same way that you don't have to see pleasure in anything that you used to do but no longer find pleasurable. The thing that's keeping you stuck on porn, the reason why you've been stuck on porn for 8 years, but your other things in your life might have changed. I've been watching porn since I was 11, right? I don't watch it anymore. I haven't watched it for months. The point being, when I was 11, I enjoyed many different things that I don't enjoy now. And I don't mope over the fact that it's gone. I don't mope over the fact that I don't find Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 fun anymore. If you gave me that console and you got me playing on it, it wouldn't hit the same as when I was 11, right? It wouldn't hit the same. A lot of the shit that I did at 11, it wouldn't hit the same. Going out on my bike with my friends, it's not going to hit the same now. Like, is that somewhat sad? Well, I mean, you can get nostalgic and kind of like that over it, but that doesn't mean that I'm suddenly going to hit on my friends and be like, boys, let's go on our fucking little bikes and go cycle around the area all together, even though we're grown men. What? I'm not going to do that. Similarly, you can move on from PMO and you can look back on it and be like, you know what, I had some good times jerking off to some women shaking their ass, but those days are over. I'm on to bigger and better things and I don't miss it one bit. In fact, it was fucking my life up for a while and I'm quite happy to be done with it. Right? So there's a natural evolution away from porn, which is the same as anything else. There's no objective pleasure in porn because you can do that mindful experiment and you can see it. You can then let go of the idea that there's pleasure in porn because there fucking isn't any if you see adequate benefit in not, right? You can take that offer of fuck porn, fuck the pleasure in porn, there's no pleasure in porn, I'm moving on, right? And you can just do that. But here's the other thing, it's multifactorial. This isn't the only thing that's going to set you free because if, let's say you don't believe in the pleasure in porn, but you believe you're addicted or you believe it helps with emotional stress, those are other reasons that you need to deal with. Those are other mind-dependent things that you have to really analyze and take out. Read the Freedom Model is really going to help you. And I'm going to make more videos about how to fucking ice that shit too, right? In the future, I'm going to get really detailed with this stuff, but I've got a lot going on in my life. Also read this book, The Cult of Pharmacology, right? Get it on LibGen, pirate it, or if you're a good boy, buy it on Amazon, right? The Cult of Pharmacology by Richard Degrandpre. Hasn't got that many reviews, hasn't got that many like Amazon likes or whatever, but honestly, some of the best rated books on Amazon are some of the biggest loads of shit you've ever seen in your life. Like, for instance, Rollo Tomasi's book, The Rational Male, absolute pile of shit. There are so many piece of shit books that are on Amazon that have loads of good reviews, and they aren't worth my own piss. Okay? So, I hope that you got a lot of value from here. Ask me any questions on Telegram or comment it, and I will get back to you for sure. That's it.